the audio might be a bit loud this episode, but we'll see. We'll see. Well, it'll be yeah. It's not like people come here for the high production value. I mean, oh, we do have the fan. Oh, so he did the UI. All right, sorry. It's been so long since we played that.
I'm in remission, so everything's all right.
Yeah.
They're gonna remove it next week. Meanwhile, I've been cooking meth. I am literally.
So Dennis has a malignant tumor growing in his abdomen, which has given him not just a false womb, but like an entire false fetus inside that carries Dennis's exact DNA.
I'm growing a clone in my belly.
And it's a problem. His abdomen is completely distended because. You know, you'd think he's growing a baby in there, but actually, he's growing a 27-year-old man.
Yeah,
dude, can you imagine how morbid that would be?
Dude, that would be fucked. You have that thing like where...
Wasn't that like a... was that a thing in Family Guy where Joe's wife was just pregnant for 18 years and he just came out as an 18-year-old boy?
No. Not that. I think Bonnie, that's her name. I'm hot with the Family Guy lore.
Oh, all right.
She gave birth to a little baby girl, but she did come out like as a 2-year-old or something. So that was pretty funny.
All right.
And indeed, Joe Swanson has a son. I think he went to Afghanistan. That's why I don't see anything about him like in the first couple of seasons.
Yeah, it's in. Oh, I get it. That's how we got the van here, because we had to pick it up in the city. So we went to the city with the boat. Well, I call it a city. We went to Periarvi with the boat, and then we left it there because, well, yeah, I mean, you can't really put the boat in the van.
Can't put the boat in the van.
If you could, I would. But all right, so that's a thing. And so I guess.
Yeah, we could take the East Joan.
Oh, it's another Easy Jones episode.
It's an Easy Jones arc, Brian.
It's another Easy Jones episode.
A can of diesel. I just left it there, Brian.
I don't mean to be bitchy and moany and all that, but like I don't like the Easy Jones episodes because it's loud, it's a hassle, and we're just
a little bit of a hassle. Yep. It is.
And yeah, all kinds of words.
Makes me insecure.
Well, it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I really just suck at driving the Easy Jones.
Yeah, we're not even gonna reach the Easy Jones.
Oh no. Wait, why actually why did
Where are things?
What do you
What?
Oh,
maybe it's over at the...
Oh yeah, we got the garage pick covers. Yeah, I remember picking those up with the van. Oh, you left some macarons out. Now they're spoiled. You dipshit, my macaron.
My macaron. My favorite.
Mac and cheese.
Let's just have a walk around. See.
What kind of cheese do they eat in Finland?
All kinds of cheese, dude. They're pretty similar to us and their cheese.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're like
That's good to hear. Because when we were in France, right, we were at a grocery store and I checked out their cheese selection because I heard that the French are good with cheese. I was in shambles looking at that. I was so depressed, just thinking to myself, like, everybody renounced the French for their cheese. I'm in a genuine French grocery store. They've got a million different kinds of fucking butter and ham and everything. I go to the cheese section. There's two options: blue cheese and old Gouda.
Yep.
And it's just, oh my god, bro. Oh yeah, there were brie, but that was more at like the parties. Well, in the Netherlands that would be at the party snack section, but this was at the fucking butter section for some reason. Okay, that's my only memory of being in a grocery store in France is being confused.
Where things are.
Yeah, so I distinctly remember finding the energy drinks like right next to the meat section, but separated away from like the other sodas.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
And I said, well, but that's weird. I mean, you gotta understand, it was back in like 20. Wait, hold on. This would have been 2010, 2011.
Oh yeah.
Damn, that's already 12 years ago. 12 years ago. Actually, it's the 5th of May. So 12 years ago, today, we were in the bus in France.
Yep.
It's 12, so we were just about. So
We're going back, I think. Right?
No, it was the May vacation that we went,
Yeah,
and the May vacation starts in May, doesn't it?
No.
What?
It doesn't. Like it's the first week of May. So it's the last week of April, first week of May.
Why the fuck do we call it the May vacation?
I don't know, because part of it is in May.
Why don't we call it spring break?
Because we're not hip, cool Americans.
True.
So that's all.
True. Oh man, also we gotta order food today a little early. I feel like...
Yeah, it's Liberation Day.
Yeah, and not just that, but also I just want to make sure that we've got everything, that we're all set to go when we go pick up my new kitty. Woo!
We're getting a new employee at Jazzgrass Incorporated.
All right, yeah. Both of our previous interns have died.
Don't ask questions.
No, but I'm getting a cat. I've always been a dog owner, but I used to own a cat way back in the day, and it was the infamous retard cat.
Yeah,
the actual.
With the chromosome.
Yeah, the one with basically with just a personality disorder of some sort, and but in the meantime, I've stayed due to my nomadic lifestyle, couch surfed a bit around different places, and my aunt and uncle back when I was living up north, they had 2 cats. One, they had the cat with the personality disorder that we used to have because they adopted it from us because So here's the reason why they took her. We went on vacation, but we weren't allowed to take the cat because of the accommodations they did, and didn't work out. So so our cat, we're like, okay, so can you take care of our cat for like a couple of weeks, and then we'll be back. So my aunt and uncle helped take care of it, and what we noticed was that on the they had like a fairly large yard and all that stuff, and like a lot of space and everything. So what they noticed was that the cat was actually a lot better behaved when she was able to, safely walk around outside and do all that stuff. Because at the time we were living along a road where people would drive quite fast and all that stuff.
You don't want to have a flat cat.
So, so when we got back from vacay and, she was there, blah, blah, as she got back home and her behavior got worse. So my parents are like, Brian, actually, tough news.
Cat can't be cooped up here.
The cat is, the cat just isn't happy living here.
Going to the big green
fields.
We're
Your aunt and uncle will be adopting the cat, but don't worry, we'll still be seeing her plenty. And we're like, all right, well, as long as we'll still be seeing her plenty. So the cat went. Indeed, to the farm. But yeah, later on, I started living there for like a year and a half-ish, and they had 2 cats. They had Janky, and they had Poes. And Poes was the cat with the personality disorder, and Janky was the best cat to ever live. Unironically, there are no better cats. I've met a lot of cats, and cats are great. Don't get me wrong. That's why I'm getting a kitty. But Jampy was literally the best cat. Alright? Here's what happens. You're chilling in the living room, right? It's cold as shit. It's middle of winter. This house is a city monument. We're not allowed to insulate the walls. Because that would require making changes we're not allowed to make. Fine. Whatever. We have like a chimney, so put a fire in the chimney and all that. You're just hanging out in the living room. When Jampy walks over, plonks down next to you. He's stolen some fucking food out of the bin. He just sits down next to you, starts nibbling on it, and then offers you the other half, and then just lays on his back and requests like pets on his belly. He's just purring away, this little fat ass. He's just hanging out there like, oh yeah, just pet my belly, yeah. And just the best cat, but he got ran over.
It's always the best catch that got ran over.
Yep. His fat ass couldn't make it across the street quick enough.
Is that, first of all, okay, so You know, a very large generalization here. But every dog I come across, I like, and I can predict, and it's always good.
Yeah.
With
Dogs are
cats,
very predictable animals, but cats
I don't
are
have that.
no.
I don't have that. They gotta like you.
So that's kind of the
It's like
thing.
a little more convincing, you know. No more effort.
I mean, that's the big difference between cats and dogs. Dogs, you know, they're in packs, they're in herds, they're in packs, like but wolf packs, whatever. But cats, they're solitary. They're solo hunters and all that. But I don't know. I got a good feeling about it.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, like
you were getting it as a kitty.
even Puss, right, who was always just unpredictable and just a force of chaos, right? That kitty was always like my kitty. Even when I went to visit my aunt and uncle, I would stay over because it's a fucking 1.5 hour drive. So why the fuck would you go back? So we'd stay over, and I would, you know, I would be late in bed, and I'd fall asleep, and I'd wake up, and of course, Puss would be right next to me, just like cuddling up against my head, on my pillow. Just adorable, right? But always, every single time, and she could choose to sleep with my sister, my dad, my mom, my uncle, my aunt, my niece, or my cousin, I mean. And it's like, you know, so, I don't know, so for some reason, I get along really well with both cats and dogs. So I take it you couldn't find the Easy Jones?
No, but I also had to retreat this boy.
Where the fuck is it?
I have no clue, bro.
Did we leave it in town? No. Ain't no way, bro.
Because if...
Did we leave it in the boat? No.
I didn't put it in the boat.
What the fuck did we do? Oh, we left it at the pavilion.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
dude, we left it at the
Because
pavilion. Yeah, right. I
We'll get that tomorrow.
remember.
This is Thursday, and I always want our old friend Timo to
Restock. Yeah.
He's shy about it.
Yeah.
He doesn't like the way you're looking at it. It's like you walk up and he's like, "Hey, do you still have that in the bag?" It's like, "Shut up! I have 5 containers to fill. Not even like 1 container. All the stock in his store can be put onto one like rolling container, and that's it.
Yeah.
Less than 1. Fucking. Maybe he just wants it to be faced perfectly, you know. Like he spends all day just making sure all the etiquettes are at the right place, all the labeling. I mean.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I remember when I still worked in a store retail, and like I would show up at like I'd show up at like 8:45 a.m. and you know we get and the boss would be telling everybody what we're gonna be doing today, and then he would dead ass tell us, "Yeah, we're just gonna face the store today because we have nothing else to do." I'm like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, but don't worry, there'll be plenty of customers. You know, you just help the customers, focus on them, and all that stuff." And I'm like, "All right."
Cool.
So I'm gonna be dawdling around 8 hours. So that I did that a couple of times, right, where that happened, and then. Oh, I remember. Yeah, this is the first time that I legitimately angered a manager.
Oh, that's great.
Alright, it's a fucking... Okay, it's a Saturday, so that's a 9-hour workday from 9 to 6. Okay, perfectly fine, but all I've been doing is facing. There's no customers. There's no customers. I'm being paid 10 euros an hour, and I'm like, this ain't it. This ain't worth my time. Right, so... Because I was thinking to myself, alright, so at home, because at the time I was editing a Siege video, Rainbow Six, and I was like, man, I had plans for today that I could have been doing. Instead, I'm here, and it's like, yeah, I'm making easy money, right? It's easy money, but I don't like that. I don't like spending my time just unproductive. Yeah, I really do not appreciate it. So I walked to my manager. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna keep it real. You don't need me today. You've scheduled in too many people. And I've just been doing this task that really doesn't need to be done.
Yeah, especially throughout the whole day.
So I looked at him straight in the eyes and I go, please let me go home, because I cannot say that there's a point to me being here. So he got annoyed with me, right? He was like, really, dude? I was like, yeah, really. He's like, oh my god, I'll think about it, all right? And then He walks off and he goes to do something. In the meantime, I'm just standing there chatting with my coworker, talking about just the various anime and manga that he's been up to, reading and all that stuff. And my boss walks up to me and goes like, "All right, you're allowed to go home. Go clock out, and I'll see you later."
Right. If I ever have a problem where I have too much employees, which these days doesn't happen a lot because it's the job market. But so whenever I see like people like just hanging out, and it's like, all right, whole store's faced, all the stock is being like done by like a couple of guys who I trust to do that. You know, I have nothing to do for these kids anymore. Just go home, dude.
Yeah.
Just go home. Some of them, they're like, but I want my money. I was like, all right, yeah, you stay, and I'll find another menial task for you to do. And if they're like, oh, dude, thanks, dude, fuck, thanks. I'm like, yeah, enjoy your day, dude.
Because that's the thing, right? I remember working at, I worked at an automation company. This was quite a big, it was quite corporate, right? And I remember even there, right? There were when I just started working there, they were like there was something going on. There were almost no orders coming in. I forgot the reasoning behind it, but I distinctly remember we were done with all the orders. We had set everything up. They were already ready for pickup, and it wasn't even 12 yet. Right? Yeah. My manager walks in. He's like, "Hey, what are you guys up to?" And we're like, "Oh, we're just tidying up the workspace because there's nothing else to do right now." And they're like, "Well, I mean, does it really need all that much tidying up? Don't we hire people for that?" It's like, yeah, you do, but there's nothing else to do. There's just nothing. Not even the RMA boys have anything to do for us. Yeah. Right? Even they were just like, you know, go through their backlog, like, okay, I guess I'll dust this one off then.
I fucking got time to do this.
So, you know, so our manager would then just say, like, all right, well, go home, and I'll see you tomorrow. And I wouldn't mind because I was salaried, so I was always going to get paid the same, regardless of whether I show up or not. So so yeah, we would go home. But like so it's interesting to me that in a corporate space, the managers are like, okay, there's no more productivity that we can do right now, so just send them home. But in a retail, it's like, no, I scheduled you in, so you're staying until the end of your shift, regardless of the point of it.
Which makes no fucking sense.
It doesn't make sense, but I feel like it's...
I've worked in retail for a long time. Now, I do retail my way, right? Like, if I tell you about how I do retail, most people be like, wait, you do that? And I'm like, yeah. So I do shit like, alright, kids, you know? They're working and it's like half an hour before they have to get off.
Yeah.
And it's like, alright, I have nothing more to do for you. I'll just write you up for 5. And you go at like 4:30.
Yeah.
I'll give him that dump, you know?
That's fair.
Because it's like, hey, all right, I asked you to free your day up for me, and I have nothing more for you to do, so you just go home.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing, right?
I'm reasonable about it. Maybe it's because I was molded in that space where I had like managers who fucked me over like that.
Well,
so I wouldn't do that.
The thing that I have with that, right, is okay. So. Indeed, like what you say is that hit the nail on the head. Like, I asked you to free up your day so you can work for me, because that's the thing. In retail, the employers they don't look at it that way. They look at it in the sense of like, you should be grateful I'm letting you do this annoying piece of shit job for almost no money. You should be grateful. So it's like, so when you're just hanging out and there's nothing to do, they will refuse to let you go because they're trying to be corporate. Yep. And in their eyes, in the corporate world, you'd never be just let home just because there's not enough work to do. But that's not the case. No. That is simply not the case. Maybe that was the case in the 60s. Maybe that was the case in the 70s and 80s, but it's no longer the case. And it hasn't been for quite a long time. I don't understand. Every job I've had that wasn't retail, the managers were always like, all right, well that'll be it for work today. So because there's nothing else, so go make something out of your day.
So I think
I just don't understand.
Is, like, a lot of those corporate jobs, like, they're very much, you know, about turnover. made money, you know?
Yeah.
So it makes sense that if all productivity is gone, because there's nothing more to do, then why would you still spend money on employees there?
Yeah. Right?
That's how I look at it. You know, it's like, why would I have people standing around doing nothing? You know, well, they either could be doing something,
Exactly,
or I could
because
just send them home.
yeah, because it's like, okay, so you can force me to stay here out of your own sense of pride, right? That you have some, because for me, to me, it always feels like an authority thing, right? Because I'm able to make you stay, like it's that kind of game.
Oh, dude, I don't do that.
But here's the thing, right? Even if you do that, why would you, like, I'm the only one truly benefiting from it because you're wasting money. Because if I'm hanging out with nothing to do, indeed, I'm still getting paid for being at work. So I'm still being paid, like, okay, in retail, you're gonna get paid for like a tenner an hour at most, right? A tenner an hour, okay. So that is, like, let's say, indeed, you're halfway through a 9-hour shift, 4.5 hours, and there's nothing else to do. That is 45 euros that they're just throwing away, right? Now, if you work in a corporate environment, your salary is gonna lay higher. Like, let's say around 15 euros, right? Let's say you're making about 15 euros an hour. That means that all of a sudden, they're not just wasting 45 bucks, they're wasting up to 100 bucks. Right? So that's just inefficient. And if you're doing that, like, especially in a corporate environment where there's like hundreds of people in like a big old office building and stuff, like, you know, a whole bunch of employees, that is so much money that you're just throwing away in a single day.
Oh, dude, I remember after Corona, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shops used to close or open up an hour early for all people to come along, like it'd be nice and quiet.
Yeah.
You know, less infection chance.
Yeah.
Great, awesome. One bad part about it is I have to be there at 7 opening up, so I gotta be there at 6 to make sure I can open up. And after the Rona, this was still going on for a couple of months. And I told my manager, like, hey dude, why? I don't want to get up early, this is bullshit. It was like, oh yeah, I'll get to it. So the regional manager walks in. And I'm like, hey man. So I didn't put a calculator on this or anything, but judging by the amount of people we got in the store from 7 till 8 doing absolutely nothing, with the amount of customers, which is one, which is me buying a pack of cigarettes, you're spending more than that you're making. Yeah. By just turning the lights on. It was like, oh, and the next week we didn't have to do it anymore. And it's just like, as long as you put it in a way of like time equals money and money equals time. Like, but people always say like, oh man, this is such a bad way to live, but it's true. Why
is it then that I, as a simple, stock boy, can figure that out, but a manager cannot? Okay, right? So, that is what annoys me about that.
So I know a lot of managers, and some of them have a couple of complexes, mate. Like they feel like they got the power. They feel like, oh man, I used to have to work like this, so you have to work like that.
Oh yeah.
I was never allowed to go off early. I always had to make all the hours, and it's like, dude, come on. It's 2023, man. Get over it.
But to me, that's like, okay, so you know that at that point, it's like, all right, so at that time, right? It's just another fucking wood chopping episode. So there's
nothing else to do on the first day, Brian.
What I'm saying is, the reason I'm saying this is because every fucking time we do a wood chopping episode, it's always the same. We start complaining about shit. But okay, so hear me out, right? You're a manager, right? You were never allowed to get off early. Okay, whatever. You know, it's like my wife never lets me get off early. Okay, so but
no, babe. You're not allowed to come until I come. So we're here the next 15 minutes.
No, it's already been 2 minutes.
I want to sleep.
So
get up at 7.
But at that point, it's like, okay, so you were miserable at that time, right? You weren't allowed to get off early. So why would you then deliberately make to make it fair to yourself? Yeah. But that means that you're actively being mean to others simply to make yourself feel better. Doesn't that like? Because that's the thing. I believe that people inherently do not want to be evil. But if you do stuff like that, that's malice. That is malice. So it's like, well, like, the only way that you could justify that to yourself is to just never do introspection. And that bothers me. How few people actually critically think about themselves, bro.
You know what pisses me off about this, alright, Brian? I'll let you in a little secret. If you do a study for becoming a manager, there's a lot about introspective there. You know? But big part of being a good manager, because that's the thing, being a good manager, like, it's difficult. You gotta good
understandable.
Like introspection, you gotta be critical of yourself, of employees, a lot of things. You gotta be critical.
Yeah.
Alright? So, and a lot of people just subvert that to being, alright, I have to be critical. Alright? I gotta be a hard ass, but not look at my own self. So they can start thinking like that instead of being like, alright, how can I make sure that people do what I want them to do in a nice, timely manner, of them enjoying it, and having a little bit of fulfillment. You know what I do every day to every employee that works for me? Thanks.
Oh,
Thanks for working. You know, see you next time.
Yeah, like, hey, you know, thanks for showing up.
I've had managers who just don't do that. And I'm just like, dude, come on. It's that easy.
It's a simple...
You don't have to be a hard ass.
It's such a simple gesture. But yeah, well, like, that's another thing. It's also just this thing of... I guess that's... So because I'm now like, I'm 27, right? So I noticed that the way that I'm getting approached is completely a change.
Yeah.
All right? Especially if I haven't shaved in the last couple of days, right? Then all of a sudden I get respected. Mm-hmm. Because that's the thing. I feel like a lot of the times that these managers pull stunts like that, it's a sense of, oh, I'll teach these kids. Exactly. And that's why they're being hard asses. It's like, oh, you don't know anything about the world. Let me show you. But it's like that doesn't work, all right? These kids do know the world. They do know, all right? Even if these kids don't know it like as much as you do, sure, but they know enough about the world to know that you're just being a cunt for no reason.
And also, okay, so a big part of this is a lot of these managers, you know, these top dogs, they tend to be boomers.
Oh yeah.
Right? They went through the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. So their whole world perspective of when they were a kid is nothing alike what like our generation and underneath that goes through.
Yeah.
So I feel like, because I see this though, when you got a lot of younger like managers like my age or a little younger than that, they tend to be a little more like aware of what's going on with these kids.
Yeah.
Right? It's not. And sometimes I have my boomer moments, Brian. I'll tell them like, oh man, back in the day, you know, I'll do that.
Back in the good old days.
I'll catch myself being like, oh man, stop complaining, you know, it's only this many cards. Back in the day, I used to, you know, I do that shit. I catch myself, and that's what I like about these kids, right? They're a little less filtered, so they'll pop it out.
Yeah.
Like, back in my day, I was like, fuck, getting old.
Oh man!
I kind of just get away with anything because I walk away and start sobbing on the toilet. I'm a bad manager, Brian.
Oh man!
These kids, I can't reach them, but they reach me, mate.
Oh man!
Oh no, I have a new way of getting my employees to work. Knallerten. There's puppies, right?
Yeah.
There's puppies.
Yeah.
We had a carnival.
Yeah.
Like a couple of weeks ago, and I got some of those popping bags, you know. All right, you know what I'm talking about, but people who don't, I don't know the English word, so I'll describe it. It's a little paper bag with a couple of rocks in it, and you throw it on the ground, and it goes.
What is it called? Yeah, I'm gonna Google this one. We're already 27 minutes into this episode. Exactly. I may as well just start Googling shit and just fucking wasting people's time.
But yeah, I have like employees. They're 18. They're just chilling out. All right, they're standing in the canteen, not doing anything. And I remember I told them to do something, so I go up to them, and instead of yelling at them, I throw some of those at their feet.
Oh fuck! I just what if I put a?
What if you put it in translate?
It thinks I'm Norwegian. Listen, man.
I mean...
No, that is also not...
Alright, we don't know, Brian.
Cracker.
Yeah.
Cracker. Alright, so you're throwing crackers at your employees' feet to get them to do stuff, right?
Yeah.
Dance, monkey, dance!
Yeah. It's like, get the fuck to work! Get on your feet!
Oh my god.
And, the first reactions were, what the fuck? Well, first of all, it's a little startling, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Walks in and it's just like, get to work, bitch! This is your third cup of water in 5 minutes.
Oh my god.
I know what you're doing. You're trying to go to the toilet so you don't have to work. Trust me, I pulled this shit back in my day.
Oh my god, bro.
And then it comes down to like, do you still have these crackers? And I was like, oh, I got boxes of them, son.
I bought the whole remaining stock.
Hell yeah, it was piekendag.
If my home burns down and explodes.
But yeah, anyway, if you work in retail, tell your boss he's an asshole. Next time at Jazzgrass Gaming, because I have to pee. And,
oh yeah, it's been half an hour,
exactly.
so I'll see you guys later. Bye!